Welcome to Kier's Kingdom Connection, featuring
my dad, Reggie Key, and
my dad, Kier Hopkins Smith.
My man. What up? Here we are, Kier's
Kingdom Connection.
Oh, we back like we never left.
You know, every once in a while, a headliner comes across our purview, and it gets us to talking. And today is one of those days.
It's a day of days.
We've been waiting for this outcome, and it has finally arrived. Jonathan Majors, who has been the head of the latest franchise, the latest movie in the Creed franchise, Creed 3, and has been set up to be one of the major contenders, antagonists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Kang the Conqueror has been found guilty and has subsequently been cut from
Marvel.
His whole contract with Marvel has been nullified.
Yeah, they nullified him.
And this becomes a great place for us to have a dialogue. My son and I went and had lunch today, and we kind of talked about it, and this is especially relevant for our sons. For those who don't know, we both have sons named Josiah.
Yes, we do.
Yours is in his freshman year in college.
Sophomore year.
Sophomore, my fault. Yeah, sophomore. I don't know how I forgot that. And mine is a sophomore in high school.
In high school.
And so this is relevant for both of them because there are just some things at play that we even talked about. Ratchetness versus righteousness, how it only takes one word to be able to speak somebody from one state of being into the next by seeing people as God the Father sees them and then speaking to them as God the Father sees them. But we're going to get more so on the aspect of what do you do when you see a person in a particular place? Because you can see a person and speak to that person and then be like, yeah, let me know when your righteousness has kicked in. Like you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and separate and let you do your thing. I'm going to continue to develop who I am, and then we'll see what happens on the other side of things. Yeah, and that may sound vague. I'm gonna let you speak to it because you said something that I have adapted with my children as far as dating.
Right.
And so, can you speak to that?
Yeah, bro. Listen, it's a topic, and I love having great topics. And I know for some it can be a controversial topic when it comes to it, right? And I ain't everybody scared of controversy. Come on, he said with the shoulders. Come on, Prince. But when it comes to dating, it was one of those things that my wife and I had a conversation with early in our children growing up. Is dating biblical, or is it cultural? That was like the foundation.
I remember you saying that before. That's good. I'm all ears.
Right. That's where it started at. It was like, when it comes to the dating process, is it biblical or is it just cultural, right? Because my wife didn't date. My wife did not date. I'm her first date.
Oh, wow.
As her husband, before we got married, I'm her first date. I'm her first kiss. I'm her first everything, right? And it was amazing to me because right. See, he on there. He got every song is already ready on play. It's on pause, then play. It's there. But that's where it started, because I was like, you made it through all of high school, got into college, went through Vincennes University. We didn't meet until she got to Indiana State, and you hadn't dated. And I'm like, how is that? What is that?
How do they do that? Where they do that?
Where they do that at? Right? In the kingdom. And so I sat back and I was like, well, then it caught me into, is dating biblical next? So I set a precedence. My wife and I, we agreed, a precedence that our children will not enter into a dating or a courting or any of that until they are 18 and graduated from high school.
And why is that?
Because what I saw in my own life and in the experiences of so many people is that young people are growing up and they're learning themselves. They're still trying to figure out who they are in the world, in themselves. And then you get two broken people or underdeveloped people trying to get together and now develop each other. Yeah. And so we have to dismiss the whole marriage is 50-50 makes 100. That's not how that works. It is 100 and 100 makes the 100. Yeah. That's God's math.
That's kingdom math.
Right? That's all kingdom math. So if my son is 16 and he's sitting at 38%.
Sounds about right.
Right? And the girl, they say mature faster, so we're going to give her 39%.
Oh, wow. You was I was going to say like 52 or something. Now you gave it 1 degree higher.
Okay. I'm going to give her 39%.
Okay.
Then you take the 38 to 39 and we're going to get 100.
Oh heck no.
We're not getting that.
We're gonna get a mix and a
Right?
a mixed bag of
So we push them to learn God.
ball of confusion.
Right, real talk. All that. See, he's in a vein, y'all. God bless us. I love my man. He in a vein, man. And I said, okay. So let's do this. Let's first find out who God is.
Yep.
Let's find out who you are.
Yep.
And then let's find out who you are in God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's get you to your place of completion, at least to a place where you are matured in your walk and knowledge of God and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when it comes to looking for someone, you'll have a better standard of what you're looking for and what you'll accept.
And you're not looking for somebody to complete you as much as you are looking. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, most definitely.
Because I don't know that you'll get to 100% before you're ready to get married.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm still, I'm
Right,
not
right,
100%.
right.
However, when we start talking about joining with someone, and I'm not even talking about sex, because that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Even when you start trying to partner with somebody, and you're not at like 80%, what'll start to happen is, I mean, it's just the fact of how we're built. We're built to receive and to give impartation.
Right.
And so if that's what little children do. Somebody was saying like, yeah, if you keep your kid around a refrigerator long enough, are they going to receive impartation from a refrigerator? I mean, not really, but the point is that at an impressionable age, when you hang around people, you begin to take on some of their attributes, and you don't want. That's when you're unclear of who. The key word here is impressionable,
Right.
And so I love what you did with the kids. Like I said, I talked to my kids, and I'm like, yeah, let's try to implement this, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of, what did you say? You course corrected. You said broken, and then you said underdeveloped.
Yeah, underdeveloped.
There are a lot of underdeveloped adults out there.
My God.
And yeah, and it would do you well to be at least developed enough spiritually to be able to see an underdeveloped person and not judge them. It's just a matter of, you want to be equally yoked. The Bible does talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want to make sure that when you begin dating someone, you're not dating someone that is underdeveloped, because when you start developing, here's the thing with Jonathan Majors. He had a come up. He had a glow up, right, where he became developed in the public eye.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, whereas before, I remember seeing him in a movie, and I was like, I don't know who that dude is.
Who that dude is?
He cool.
Right.
But I'm sure he had to fight that. He had to fight. I am Jonathan Majors. I am Jonathan Majors. And then it happened. Creed 3. And
Marvel, right.
And came at the same time. And now all of a sudden, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows your name. And so, I don't know him. I don't know the mentality. But I can imagine that if you've been fighting, to have people recognize who you are, and then all of a sudden everybody recognizes you, you may have a hard time pushing back and being like, you know what, that's cool that you know my name, that's cool that you got your name in my name in your mouth, but I'm gonna keep you at a distance though. Yeah. This person whom he had this encounter with and is now, embroiled in this whole litigation, I don't think he discerned her well enough to know who she was and what her agenda was, to keep her at a distance and say, you know what? Yeah, no. And so that gets into being able to see people as God sees them, and not isolate yourself, but discernment is necessary.
Is necessary.
Because even now, who I see him rushing into court with, I'm like, have you discerned her though?
Yeah.
And this is not throwing shade at anybody. This is just saying there are some people who are just underdeveloped. They are, in a sense, broken. Yeah. And we all have broken pieces to us, but when you're at a place like that, where now his livelihood has been greatly impacted. I mean, in a day's time, his stuff has shifted. Yeah. And that's the type of, not everyone will get at this status, this level as Jonathan Majors, but there is a kingdom status that you're called to get to though. There is a mountain that you're called to be on top of. Yeah. And as you begin to climb that mountain, if you're not careful, whoever latches themselves to your, what they say? Like when you begin to climb and people begin to see it, they attach or latch themselves onto your rising star, basically. Yeah. And they'll latch on and be like, oh, I see what's happening here. Yeah. And they'll grab on.
They want to go where you're going.
Yeah, with not with the intentions that are not for your best development.
Yeah, not at all. And
Yeah.
that's it, man. And so you're getting at it, and the cautionary tale was a phrase you used earlier when we talked. It's the cautionary tale, okay? It's a cautionary tale that we both agree and we believe that it is the responsibility, especially as parents, for our children to help them in these arenas, okay?
Yep.
I'm not saying that you have to have some, littered background, right? You don't have to have a littered background as a parent to help your child to not end up in a space. Actually, you just got to have an awareness.
Yep.
There's an awareness, and as you use the word, a discernment. As you build that, then as you go into it, you help your children navigate waters.
Test the waters.
Test waters and navigate waters, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to encourage, is that there needs to be more of an attentiveness as parents for our children, engaging and guiding them. And listen, it's no shade against nobody. You're going to always do what you do, but understand, I am not one that agrees with parents who let their children date in elementary, let their children date in middle school. I'm not in agreement. But you're going to do you.
Yeah.
Because I look at these little, and I'm like, what are you thrusting them into? What is it that you're introducing them to before their time?
Yeah.
If you take a 3-month-old child and get Gerber number 3 food and put it to their mouth, what's going to happen?
They'll go for it. But
they're going to go for it, but it's more likely not going to go down. If it does, they're going to choke on it.
Yep. It's going to come out.
And so, because we understand as parents that there are stages to the feeding, there's got to be stages to the romance. There's got to be stages to the introduction of this stuff.
Called courtship.
Courtships. Now, the courtships is more biblical than the dating process, because dating for me is too flimsical. Dating is the taste and see. Now, you know God got that coin because Jesus said, "Taste and see the Lord is good."
Yeah.
But that's on Him. He said, "Taste Him and see." We ain't supposed to be walking around every female tasting and seeing if she the one. No, that's not what the Lord. My wife said something, and I loved her for this, and I'll always use it because she gave me permission to it. But she said when she saw all her friends dating and folks is falling out, some people having, she asked God, "Lord, I want my husband, and I only want to date the one in whom you've called to be my husband."
Hey,
that was her declaration. That was her prayer. I don't want to be dating someone who ain't for me.
Because that's culture right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that a lot in middle school. Just last week?
Yeah.
You're not with them? Okay.
Right.
No, you with them? Okay.
No. So she made a definitive decision in the kingdom and said, "God, this is my request. I only want the one in whom you have for me. And that's who I want to date, because that's my objective. My objective isn't to skip to Malou, my darling. We ain't out here playing hopscotch over females and males. No, she was like, there's a destination of marriage that God has for me, and I want to reach that one with the one and not have pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces. We're not trying to have bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies.
You was with me on that one.
Yeah, I was with you, right? We're not trying to have bodies, bro. We want our children to come into this thing and to have a declaration like Adam had when God presented his wife. This is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh.
Yeah. It's tough out here, man. And I think we're both very explicitly talking to the young men, because so often, the messaging that's told to young men, hey, get out there, do your thing, sow your wild oats, this, that, and the third, like, just get out there. And it's like, nah, this is not the message you're getting from us at all.
Get that message.
That's man, you sow your wild oats, you're gonna get some tears.
Bro.
You're gonna get some weeds.
Tears and weeds
and some of these,
and then you're gonna end up with them little bugs,
little parasites that come with them.
Parasites that's all up in them. Couple of them parasites got 3-letter initials tied to them. You don't want them.
You don't want that.
You don't want them 3-letter initials.
I saw somebody repurpose it. There was like a spiritually transmitted disease. I'm like, oh, we saying a whole nother thing now.
My God.
Hey.
But that's it, fam. And so the cautionary. We look at Jonathan Majors, and once again, I see the man, and I know his name. I don't know him, but I know his name, right? And I'm looking at him, but man, he falls as a statistic of God, countless others who have fallen in this space and place, right? And we want, as kingdom people, we're not supposed to be on that side. I mean, so far to the point where the scriptures even talked about how there are certain sins that shouldn't even be named amongst God's people. right?
Right.
So God gets a definitive. The Lord is all about definitives. And he was like, my people shouldn't even be
dealing
on
with
this side, right? So if we can do the kingdom thing the king's way, there is so much that can be avoided, and there's so much that's gained. Cause
Yeah.
when we do the kingdom the king's way.
Real talk, man. Can you share the story about your son? You think he'd be cool with it?
Yeah. Because he gives his testimony. And I mean, even my son, he had a young lady that he was infatuated with. And,
In high school.
In high school. This was in high school. And he was infatuated with her. And I was like, okay, I mean, I get it. But he knew the rules, and he was okay with keeping the rules, right? But there came a moment where he really felt inclined, and he wrote her a letter. And he typed the thing out. He called me. He was like, hey, Dad, can you print this thing for me?
Hey, Paul, so when you type now, do you still... That doesn't really work anymore, does it?
Nope, that's not how that works.
Anyway,
We look at all 10 and go to the keyboard.
That's your keyboard now.
Right,
I don't want that.
Right. And so he asked to print. Now listen, here I am. My son asked to print. He's about to go to school. I'm not even thinking about it. I just said, okay. And I just went to print. It wouldn't print.
I had to go look at it.
And then I said, and I tried again. I was like, and that joker would not print.
And
then the Lord was like, look at it.
Look at it, though.
And the Lord said, look at it.
at
I
this.
actually looked at what I was about to print, and I saw the letter. And I read it, and I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
Now, to keep it clear, like, it wasn't nothing dirty.
Yeah. It wasn't
was
dirty. It was just him professing his love for her.
And
saying that the Lord was saying that she was his wife. Right? And so I was like, we're not doing that. Right? So time out. I set him down. I set him down. Let's talk, son. Let's talk a thing through, and let's see it. Now, once again, on the other side of it, because hindsight's all 20/20, on the other side of it, he found out. It's one of those, thanks, Dad. Thanks for interrupting that letter.
Yeah.
You were right.
Because in college,
yeah, he found out, okay, something about her. And so it's just understanding, young people, and any person, that God puts us as parents, as spiritual overseers, as brothers and sisters in Christ, as we have the Holy Spirit, right, and the apostolic, the prophetic, all these giftings are there for this purpose. Is one, God doesn't want us to get right to the edge of a thing and then fall over. No, the Lord's putting cautionary stuff out to detour us before we even get there.
Yeah.
And that's what I was there for my son. And so now he's over 18. He's graduated from high school. And even now, when he sees, he approaches different.
This is one thing that I didn't hear you say it in this conversation. You were saying, like, what he went after was surface level, though. Right. And he did not use the discernment to be able to see her as a father sees her, and be able to know, like, okay, is that somebody that and is there attraction is one thing, but having the ability to see someone's integrity, having the ability to see someone in the state that they are. And again, we're not trying to say, hey, I can't be your friend. No, we can be friends. But as I'm developing, now you going. Then pass the baton. You gotta take the baton. There you go. All right. So being able to see someone where they are and just appreciate where they are. Like, you know what, you good. You gotta bake a little more. Yeah. I gotta bake in my oven. You gotta bake in yours. Yep. And then we'll see what happens when we come out on the other end. Right. There's an important thing in that, and it involves not just looking at all the attributes. Like, that's nice.
God bless the attributes. I mean, God bless that she looked good. God bless that she banging in all the spaces and places that you like. God bless you got a sweet voice. God bless that you feel good when you're with that person. God bless the feel goods. Oh yeah. But the feel goods is not what biblical marriage is based off of. And it's important for him, my son, is like, see past the surface and see to the very core of who she is. And see if she is the person that 20 years from now you'd still want to be with.
Hey, 20 years.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. 40 years from now, we need some long game vision. Yeah. Not just, man, she got. Listen, Belle Biv DeVoe taught us early: never trust a big button to smile. Yeah, right? That girl is poison. Listen.
Hey man, we've been singing the whole time. You guys never trust a big button to smile.
That girl is poison. Woo! Poison. She dangerous, and I'm like, son, I need you to look deeper, and I need you to see her spirit. God bless the good looks, but there's a principle that's at play. Time and gravity happens to everybody. What was once tight will be loose, and what was once up will be down.
You talking about the kingdom of the keys right now? They should be locked up in heaven. We get locked up on earth. And once you get loose,
once you get loose, hey, it's loose. Listen, Linda. And so it's important for us to see it well.
No way they do that in the kingdom.
Bro, it's good. But that's it. And so I appreciate having this. This is also a part where kingdom kinship comes in.
Yep.
And why we advocate having kingdom kinship. Because the man of God and I, my brother, my yoke fellow, we sharpen each other in these areas. We sharpen each other's families in these areas. Because guess what? My son has had great conversations with Reggie. And when his son was going through, he called me in to be able to help with his son. And this is how we grow. We got to get past this individualistic mindset that my family is my family, ain't nobody else allowed. I'm not saying let everybody in, but we need to have kingdom kinship so that we can raise the kingdom as a kingdom.
Because there's some things that you do that I hadn't thought of, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard you say that, I was like, dang it, why am I not doing that? Mm-hmm. And I felt a certain way about it, to be honest. I was like, dang it, that's really good. Like, I failed on my part, but I got over myself and was like, but that doesn't mean I can't implement it now. Yeah. And to be able to talk to my children about it and to have a real doubt, like, what does that look like in this family?
Yeah. What's
what I'm saying? And so we have an idea what it looks like now.
Yeah.
I wanted to share one more thing as we close out, because it didn't occur to me until this moment, like right here.
Okay.
This is for those that are out there dating, who are adults, who's been out there and seen the world and seen some things. There's something that I was prompted to do that helped me discern my wife. And it was after having dated. I didn't date a lot because I wasn't really sought after in high school. I wasn't sought after at the early part of high school. Gotcha. So I had one girlfriend in high school, one girlfriend in college, and I saw and learned enough from those two and from just the other things that I had seen out there. And I was like, you know what, though, this is some foolishness. And I've wanted to be a father and a husband since like the 6th grade.
Yeah. And
so what that made me was a little thirsty. It made me a little anxious. And so every time I would see somebody, I'd be like, oh, I think this the one. Is she the one? Mm-hmm. And I was like, is she? And I would force, not I don't want to say in a bad way. I'm not talking about physical force, but I would try to make it work.
Right.
Especially because I slipped up and lost my virginity to one, reclaimed my virginity, and then lost it again to the one in college. And so my thing was, oh God, I'll make it up to you. This will be my wife. Like that's you don't want to enter into like that, right? A manipulation of God or a some type of transactional, like that's not how he works. That's not how his covenants work. But what I ended up doing was I came up with a prayer list for what my wife looked like, and this was my discernment, and I got as specific as I wanted to. Of everything that I wanted and everything that I did not want. And I did it to help my discernment, to give me peace, because I was like, ain't nobody gonna meet this for a while. So when I would meet somebody, I'd be like, you don't have it.
You going through the list.
But I'm like, hey, we can go out, we can go out to the movie, we can kick it, we can go out and take you to the, Ruby Tuesdays was a big thing, like, I can take you out to eat. But I had peace. I wasn't like, oh, is this it? Until the person came that had everything on the list. Mm-hmm. And I knew at that point, and it made a lot of decisions easier. So when I got laid off from my job, and I was like, she in Chicago, I'm in Maryland. The one thing that she doesn't have is she's not local. But if I move, the Lord said it. He's like, if you move though, she the one. And I was like, oh, you're right. And it made moving halfway across the country so easy to do.
Right.
Didn't have a job lined up.
Right.
But I was like, she's it.
Yeah.
And so I just want to share that with you all. Like, write it down. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain so that he may run who reads it. It will save you so much frustration and so much resources and time. That'll just help with your discernment. So I just want to put that out.
Yeah. No, and that's good. And then that's his testimony, right? Mine was I'm full of women, and I had my fair share of them, and I was done. When I gave my life to Christ, I wanted to literally be like Paul. I wanted to be me and Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I was 100% like, I'm done with females. I'm done. I didn't have my fair share. I'm done. Me and Jesus.
Not me and Mariah. Me and Messiah.
Right. Me and Messiah. Come on.
Like baby's been past the fires.
ODB, come on.
I'm trying to break a record today.
I think we already broke it. It's there. It's broke. But that's all I wanted. And then here it comes on a fateful day that I was online and I see her face on collegeclub.com and there she is. And I was like, oh, and I decided to send a message because I saw she was attached to some organizations I was attached to. I was like, okay, I'll make a connection. But then when I met her on August 26th, okay, August 26th, 2001, and I came around the corner, and as soon as I came around the corner and I laid eyes on her, Holy Spirit says, that's your wife. And I'm like, didn't you get my memo?
Right.
I said,
me and Messiah.
that's what I said. And the Lord was like, that's great. I'm glad you think that. But you're going to need this to get me through what he knew I was about to go through. He knew I needed her.
Yeah.
Because the temptations was right around the corner. And so the Lord brought us together and he allowed me to be with somebody who was like literally stark opposite of my testimony. She didn't have none of that. And so I needed that because it brought me balance.
Yeah.
Brought me a lot of balance.
You know what I heard you say though, which is what I wish could have happened for Jonathan Majors. You was like, you need her to get you through the temptations that are coming. A lot of us need that, especially those that do get to these levels that are in the stratosphere. You need to be grounded with someone that you can discern, that the Holy Spirit can discern. You're like, you're gonna need that to curb the temptations that come.
So this is all good stuff. And so we appreciate y'all. Y'all know we do for every one of our faithful watchers and faithful listeners and our faithful subscribers. You know, we see you and we appreciate you. We are thankful and we asking. I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep putting it out there that we want y'all to interact with us in the comments. We really want your comments and we would love for you guys to give us topics. Give us topics you want us and Kingdom Kinship in 4K to begin to explore and talk about, because we're going to be checking it. Because I know I check mine almost every day just to see, is there a little one on the comments? And if there is one, I'm ready to ask and say, hey, what's going on? Boom, 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 talk. But listen, we want you guys to give us that because these topics are important. And we know they're important. They're just not talked about enough. Right? And we don't want to leave because whatever makes the most noise draws the most attention. And so if the world going to make all the noise about dating and we make no noise about kingdom courtship, then we can't be mad when our kids decide to fall over to dating and not kingdom courtship. All right? So like it, subscribe, comment, listen. Manny 14 Ministries.
Power of my testimony.
Hey, this is 4K.
You be putting pressure on me sometimes because sometimes I be like, am I going to fumble it? No, sometimes it be on your tip of your tongue and then it just fall out and you don't get a chance to project it. Like, but I haven't done it yet.
No, you got it. Every time, bro. Yeah. Manny 14 Ministries. Power of my testimony. Let's get it. All right, so we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know this was a long one, a lot longer than we usually go, but this topic is real. This is real. I wish my father would have had this topic in conversation with me when I was a young man.
Yes, sir.
But he wasn't there to do it.
So that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. All right?
All right.
Till the next time.
Till next time.